Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh my gosh, this idiot. She's a nightmare, in my opinion. In my opinion, she's an absolute no good, bigoted, uneducated, highly poorly educated person who she's a bigot, but she crawls around like literally she's like yeah like she basically crawls around it and she tries to hide it, but there's been several situations where it's like she puts her toes in the bigotry water in public, but she can't fully admit it. And then even with like the pimp cane, coming from someone with a disability, there was a time where I didn't need a cane or a walker. But then even when I did need the cane, if it was a short walk or anything like that, I didn't need it. And then with the walker, it was when especially it was going to be a long distance when my walking got worse. And so but everyone's disability is different. It's like I know people because like especially like when it rains and everything like that, some people only need it when it rains, or like it depends on the precipitation outside. And so for her to say I've never seen him need, you don't need to, that's none of your business. We don't need to show you our doctor or medical reports or anything like that. It's none of your business. Everyone with a disability is different. They're not cookie cutter like she wished this country was. We're not the same, which, oh, like they hate diversity so much that that's one of the words on their almost 200 word list that they want to eliminate from this country. She hates the diversity, and she's so naive, and she's basically stupid. She is. She is stupid. I mean, with a lot of the things she has said and claimed, because even there was one, like, I want to say 2 years ago, where she was talking about how many people were killed by wolves, and or are you going to outlaw public urination and stuff like that or whatever. But then to find out, her and the people she hired, like she's so dumb she can't even hire like highly educated people to even cover up her stupidity. That is like almost everything that she was trying to rip on Democrats on, she was wrong. It's like almost every single thing. They were looking at her like, honey, how'd you get this position? How'd you get this position? Oh, yeah. Yeah. When people keep saying Kamala got it because and that really gets on my nerves, because even like a lot of the Republicans, and like that's how I'm going to be sliding into the subject. They kept trying to say Kamala slept her way up. She slept her way. And it's just like, what was Lauren Bower doing at that Beetlejuice thing? It's like, and he's not part of Congress, but part of me, no one wonders, because even when 50 Cent went up to the White House and they were all hugging together and everything like that, no one quite like I questioned that one. I'll question that one, because just like I forgot what the name of that movie is, but they say a black man's like kryptonite or his like biggest weakness is a white woman, and like he even gave her some props like after like some of the awful terrible things she has said about the like African American community and Democrats and things like that. You're gonna be all hugged up on her, you like, and there's no issue with that. And oh yeah, I have issues with Snoop Dogg too. Oh, like it's like during the Olympics, I was just like, wow, he's really coming out and he's showing like a different perspective, and he's showing like he's trying to show the role model, blah blah blah. Now, he was showing his wallet and how it's expanding, and now he's showing himself to different demographics so he can grow. Because like he has a wine too. Yeah, I'm a little off topic, but I'm gonna get right back into it in just a second, because it's really like talking about Al Green and everything, and especially as a person of color and stuff, and then as Vice President Kamala Harris, like people of color, like whenever it comes to people of color, they want to, like some of the things they even said about Michelle Obama and things like that, and the things that I've seen online on different social networks when they're like sexualizing them and either calling them a man, or that they're not black enough, or they're like, even the orange man kept calling both of them stupid, ignorant, and like, oh, they're lazy and all this other stuff. And it's like racist after racist after racist after racist. And it's like, it's really annoying when, like I said, like when you see 50 Cent all hugged up on this one, and then you see, like, oh, during one of the big speeches near the end of the elections and stuff, like they didn't say Pimp Kane, but they said once Kamala loses, she's gonna get back on the streets and go to her pimps. If you forgot about that, remember that. If you forgot about that, you need to catch up, boo boo. Because, yeah, they said that. And they said this on stage in front of millions of people, people cheering and laughing. And it's like whenever he called her stupid, whenever they said like a sexual reference towards her, they're cheering, they're clapping. And so now that Lauren, ugh, this disgusting human being, in my opinion, she's an absolute no good, disgusting human being. To me, in my opinion, she's a bigot, racist, no good, like just imbecile. Because like the like she wants to call that a pimp cane and it's gold. Yeah, like I decorate my walker. It's like, to me, if I have to walk around with a disability, why can't I at least have some fun? Why can't I be like, maybe not in fashion, but it's like if I'm going to be stared at, looked at, and judged, why can't I go around in a way where I don't have to look pathetic? Because a lot of people, they think I have to look pathetic. I remember even going to Secretary of State, and I was waiting and everything, and this woman was like, "Do you need help? Do you need help?" I was like, "I got it." What? Like, yeah, you see, I have a disability, but I got it. And even like when after we were both finishing up at the same time, and it's like she came up to me, or I was like, one of us went up to each other, because I remember telling her to have a good day, and I thanked her, but I told her, please, like, if you see someone with a disability, it's like, please give them time. They might need just a little time, but it's like, this is our independence. And it's like a lot of us were capable. We just need a little bit more time. So when you asked me, like literally, she asked me 5 different times, "Do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help?" It's like, be quiet, okay? Mind your business. I got here. I'm here. So leave me like, mind your business. If you see, like, but I did thank her, because I'm like, if you see someone who does need help, if they fell, or if you see that they're in line but they can't carry their food to the table, if you see that that is the case, once you see that in fact they need help, then yes. And or if you ask the one time, at least they'll know if they do need help. If they don't need help now, maybe if they need help later, if you're still around, they know they can ask you. But it's just like, doing it repeatedly, that's annoying. And also, like, seeing us with our disability mechanics and everything like that, why can't we have fun? Why can't we personalize it? Why can't it look just wonderful and beautiful? And yes, canes have a stereotype or whatever, but it's like, having a disability, why can't we, like, because I, like, while I'm working on my physical therapy, I do have small decorations and stuff on, like, and it's very simple and stuff on my walker, but there are other things that I want to add. And then with my scooter, there are things I want to make it like, I want, actually, it's like I want to make it a different color. And so I'm working on that. Um, it's like there was one guy who was so-called interested in dating me, but he was a joke or whatever, because like, yeah, one of his friends does the paint jobs on cars or whatever. So I was like, ooh, I was like, if I meet up with him and I pick the right color, and it's like with the price or whatever, if he gives me the price, can he paint these that color? And he was like, are you serious? He was like, so you want to like customize your scooter? I was like, yeah, why not? And it's like some people think it's funny or a joke, and it's just like, why can't we? It's like, you can walk around in any fashion and any, like with your car, you add all types of stuff to your vehicles, your cars, hang things on your front mirror, even though it's illegal, and it's like you should get pulled over, but most of you guys don't get pulled over, but like only if you're like, well, there are like, if a cop has to find another reason to pull over a white person. But who, yeah, I've already told that story, so go back, catch up, and pay attention and listen and everything like that. But oh, part of me just feels like you ride in your vehicle, you get to personalize your vehicle. My walker helps me get around. My scooter helps me get around. Why can't I personalize it like I would a car? It's, and then you like, she had the nerve to call it a pimp, like, this no good little. Mm, mm. It's just like, how dare you? How dare you? It's like, and then he did, like, she did the exact same thing as him when President Biden was in office. And then she like, and she's all yelling and stuff, looking as cheap as a, like, not gonna, but yeah, she was like, yeah, she wasn't looking all that. It's like, I mean, and yeah, a lot of men find her attractive. I hear this all over social media, but one, like, I'm a sapiosexual, so I like the way I hear her and see her from an educated point of view. The way that I hear how she mocks and trolls and bullies people, to me, she's an absolutely cruel, awful, ugly human being. She is spiteful and ugly and despicable, highly uneducated, highly uneducated, which is one reason why she hardly gets any like any work done. Actually, yeah, when I say hardly, I mean minuscule. Yeah, yeah. Catch up, do your homework. And it's crazy because, yeah, I paid attention to how she votes too. And like, even with some of her commercials, that like when she was running and everything, she talked about, yeah, we voted this in, and I'm bringing this to the state, and I'm doing this. Like, she voted it down, and quite a few times she voted so many things down for Colorado, but then it passed. And I think once or twice it was because Vice President Kamala broke the tie. Yeah, but you guys aren't thankful for her. She, it broke the record of tiebreakers. Broke the record. Yeah, you're welcome. Because a lot of the things that you have now is because of Vice President, you know? And I say that because a lot of people keep saying what her job was and about the war and about that. Like, that wasn't her job. That part wasn't her job. But the parts that were her job, she did a great job at. And a lot of you, like, she's a woman. She's like, she thinks she's black. She thinks she's Indian. She's only this when she wants to be. She's like, no, she's who she is. Oh, well, she was a part of this, and as a lawyer, she did this. And it's like, you know what? No one's perfect. And at the same time, like, like that, you know what? It's a long story for a different day. But it's just frustrating and annoying with how with Lauren Boebert. She kept bragging about things that she voted down. You guys wouldn't have gotten so many of those things because she voted those items down. But then when Vice President Kamala broke the tie, and then you guys were going to get it. Most of you guys don't pay attention and look up the votes on the government website. So she was able to lie and repeatedly lie just on such a constant basis. But she learned from the best. She learned from the orange man how to lie, how to trick you, how to fool you. She did. She did an amazing job with that. But it's like while she's yelling about someone waving a pimp cane, and literally a couple years ago, I think she did it twice. I know she did it once, but I think she did it twice. But then President Biden kept on with his speech. Didn't kick her out, didn't do any of that. And oh yeah, it's like she was buddy buddy with Kid Rock too. Ugh, can't stand. I don't have anything nice to say about that jerk. And he's, in my opinion, he's an absolute awful, terrible human being type of jerk, But gonna keep going. But part of me just feels like, why do people with disabilities have to have generic standard type of things, especially like with his job position when he can afford it? Why can't he, like, why can't he express himself? And some people are like, yeah, he does this because, and he makes this because, like, you know what, like, if he has the money, why not? It's like, I just feel, I love it actually. It's like he's expressing himself. He doesn't look like like so many people just want us to look absolutely pitiful and boring. Like so many people, like when they see, like, back to the Secretary of State, like when we were both leaving the line and everything, you look so well put together. And she was like, and I think she had the nerve to even ask, like, who dressed you? And I remember I backed. I was like, excuse me? Who dressed me? And this is one reason why I repeatedly say I have my degrees and certifications. Because people, like, even when I, like, with some of my jobs, especially the part time professor, like, at the beginning of the semester, students think I'm another student. A lot of students, like, or when I get into the front of the classroom, I've had students say, "You're not supposed to be there." And one time, like, I remember it was a white guy. He was like, "Are you slow?" It was like, just because you use that doesn't mean, he was like, "Do I need to show you how to sit or where to sit?" And one of my past students walked me to my room because they're telling me about how their finals went the previous semester. And so they heard it, they came back. That student came back, got into a seat because they didn't even have a class with me anymore. They had a classroom down the hall or whatever. But it's like, and that's one thing I really love, is like when my students see me, or at least majority, like some of them hate me because I am determined to teach them. Like, and sometimes I wonder, if you don't want to learn, why are you in this classroom? If you don't want to learn, you have no business near me, because I'm just like, I give out tons of information. I give you overflowing information. So if you don't want to learn, and if you don't want to discuss, talk, and like have dialect, you have no business near me. But when my past student went and sat in that seat, and it's like and I remember had a bag of chips and stuff like that. He came and he put up his shoe, like he put up his feet on the table. And he knows it's rude. He came back. He even came back and wiped that part of the table down, or whatever. But I loved it because he opened that bag of chips and he looked at me because he was like, "This is gonna be good," and I just broke out laughing. I broke out laughing because it's like, because this student knows how I am and they know that I'm petty because I have had some, like, especially before I was diagnosed, but my walking was getting worse, and then being diagnosed, or so now having a disability, is like, especially male students, especially male students, they don't think anything of me because being a female professor, being a black professor, being a professor with a disability, they think nothing of me. I had one student try to, like, he came up and asked me a question, and then he tried to walk off with my walker because they said during break they wanted to see how I got up or how far I would make it or whatever. They wanted to see if they can put it, because, like, and I found this out because I told them, if you do not bring that back right now. And one of the students ran to the hall and got security. And also he ran back and put it down and acted like it was just a slip up, it was just a mistake. So, but yeah, it's like with our next generation, we have a lot of heartless, awful human beings. Like, yeah, I'm an equal opportunity. I talk about men, black men, white men, especially. It's like I talk about my basic white Karens too, and Republicans. Like I've talked about some Democrats too. So yeah, I'm a equal opportunity petty person. And I do talk about my mistakes and stuff. So catch up, listen to other episodes because I do talk about, like, especially when I used to be brainwashed from my mega church. And it's like, yeah, yeah, it's like, because I was brainwashed, but I knew better. It's like I knew something was wrong, but at the end of the day, with this one student, while my past student was eating those chips too. And I need to order some of those chips too because they don't. It's like you just don't find them in store or whatever. So now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy some of those chips. But finally, it's like I start turning on the computer and I'm typing myself in, and some of the students are like, "Oh snap." I think because this is still before class starts or whatever. That's why my past student's still sitting down or whatever. And they're like, "Oh crap, I think she's the professor. I think she's the professor." And like one student was just like, "Oh my gosh, how are you able to make it this far?" It's like, and that was their first question. I just looked at them. I was like, "What? Can you?" I was like, "You need to rephrase that," because I'm like, "Do you mean how did I make it to the classroom? Do you mean how did I make it in school? Like, what do you mean? Like, how did I make it this far? Like, you're just at like, because this came out of nowhere. So when you ask me how did I make it this far, like, what are you talking about? Education, distance with walking? Like, I don't know. It could have been something else as well. I have no idea. And I've had other students who thought I was a student, like, either like stop me. "I am so proud of you. You're back in school. What are you trying to get a degree in?" It was like anybody can do it. And I've had other people say, "Oh, you're just trying to get a education, but no one's gonna hire you." I've actually had college students come up to me and tell me I must be getting an education for fun because no one's going to hire me. But then I'm in one of their friends' class because yeah, I wasn't in their class, but I was in one of their friends. Like they were in my class or whatever, and so like a couple weeks later, they bumped into me again, and they had big eyes, like, "Yeah, yeah, you're the professor." Oops, yeah, I really asked, and it's like, and the thing is, when you have a disability, people are not scared to show you their ugly side because they think you're defenseless. They think you're pitiful. They think you're scared of them because since they are able-bodied, they think they can empower over you. And I think it's really funny how, especially especially men, especially white men, especially white men, they see me as prey. They see me as pitiful and they think they can just do anything and everything they want because of my disability, especially. Being black is another reason, but especially when they see me, because majority of the time it is white men. Majority, I'll say about 80, maybe 80 to 85% of the time. And the times it's a black woman is kind of funny because usually when it's a black woman, they tell, like, well, I'll tell those stories a different day because there's two or three times where it was like one time she came, like the black student came in pregnant, but then she told me how she was going to bring in her homework or do it only when she felt like it because morning sickness. And I'm like, you started off the semester pregnant. If it was later in the semester, then you found out, that's a little different. But how are you gonna come to me and you're in your third trimester? How are you going to come to me and now you're going to tell me the rules of my class? Yeah. And she had a little comment about my disability too, because she was like, well, I know you don't do anything else at home. And I know, since it's like, so I could turn in my homework at any time because it's not like you have anything else to do. Oh, yeah, but she dropped my class because after the second or third week, she couldn't handle the work. Honey Boo Boo could not handle the work because I asked them over the week to watch two or three videos, and one was about marketing in a legal manner. And then there was a case about, and it's a really interesting case too. So I might actually bring that up on the Nerd channel, which I haven't done in a couple weeks because trying to finally finish this novel. But yes, like, and there was a third one relating to it, especially it was about creativity. How, because a lot of our next generation are not creative and they're not able to be creative because they're so dependent on AI technology and looking things up to the point where they're not able to come up with their own original ideas and things like that. So, and she hated that because one of the second week of class, second or third, I asked them to work on something, and she was just like, she actually wants me to think of something. How am I supposed to think about? And I'm just like, and then she didn't watch any of the videos and she was like, well, play them now. Well, you were supposed to do that throughout the week. Well, it doesn't matter. Just play them now. This no good little yeah. So, but anyway, back to the original class I was talking about, because yeah, these are two different classes. Once he saw me, like once he heard her ask that question, and then it was like 2 or 3 minutes before class was about to start, so majority of the students were in the classroom. So then my past student ran to the restroom to get some paper towels and some soap and stuff to clean off the table where like he kicked his feet on, and he apologized, but I thought it was hilarious and I knew why he was doing it. But it's like, that student, like, and the white male student never apologized either because he was just kind of, instead he buckled down just like Lauren Boebert. He two timed it and he was just like, well, I know I'm not going to learn anything from this class because it's like looking at you, it's like I don't see any of that actually happening. That was his first comment. So then I was like, oh, well, it's the first week of class. You can get a full refund. Save your money, save my time. It's like, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. Honey boo boo, you don't have to be here. If you don't think, like, my job is to teach you, but if you don't think you're going to gain any knowledge from me, goodbye. Go to another school. Like I'm not going to beg for you to stay in here. I know what I do and I know what I'm doing. And I think he was shocked when I said, save your money, save my time. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. And express yourself, be yourself, love yourself.